Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies. This is the Pixel Junkies podcast, episode 134. I'm one of your hosts, Rory DC.
It is 134.
It is 134.
Or your other hosts, people drinking beer.
Beer.
You were doing like 80% of that.
Yeah, because you wouldn't do it.
Well, I'm always cautious about clinking glasses, because I know some people are very vigorous about, like, I'm doing the cheers, and then you're like, I'm doing the cheers also, and then beer goes everywhere.
It works
and the
better
glasses
with those, like, pub-style A&W glasses with the thick, like, glass.
I saw somebody, like, online once, they were like, cheers, and they had teacups, and they went, and it, like, shattered. It's like, no!
Yeah, all right.
You really do need, like...
I'm still really loud. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit more.
Alright, cool.
Is this the actual start?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
we're good. This is all good content.
Okay.
I just didn't adjust my mic
A
before.
lot of our viewers don't know how hard it is to run a podcast.
Yeah. There's a lot of Bevan.
Orbital insertion.
What game we playing, Rory?
We're playing Doom 3.
You can tell because it looks like shit.
I've not played Doom 3 since I was a kid.
Oh, okay,
I've
good.
not played Doom 3.
I said I wasn't gonna play this because I never played it. I thought Rory was gonna also say
I
he never
loved
played
the hell out of this when I was a kid.
This looks pretty good for 98.
it. I remember Andrew playing this and he was all about it as well.
It is
like
a really
a-
good
Yeah,
game.
What kind of a
interesting,
drop ship is that? It looks like it has a tumor.
Yeah, it's the tumor. That's what it's called.
Tumor.
The Mars tumor.
So why are we playing this?
So
It's spooky.
it's spooky, and
Is it too spooky?
it's only like it's really small, right? And so when we do this, we install the games like right before we do the podcast. So we did not want to get something that was exorbitantly large. So that's why we went with
Gotta get a very
this.
polygonal.
Old games are
head.
always good for that.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you can't see the very spike on the top of his head where the polygons meet.
I also assume the audio is working for the game. We have it turned off, so
Yeah, we're not
Who knows?
hearing it. So
if you don't hear it either, it's probably broken.
yeah,
Just be-
otherwise you'll just be listening to us.
Just loop
which
this in
would
the
be
background.
It's pretty good beer, huh?
Isn't it?
Yeah. It's called you want to plug it. It's the Spice Principle by
guess he said go
Bose
this
Mix,
way.
Bose
I
Brewery.
assume.
Bose Brewery, which is an Ontario-based brewery company, Thomas. They're for... Now, I know you're not drinking, but you should consider picking this up and keeping it till New Year's so when you can drink.
You were not actually typing on that keyboard.
He's
You're not
pretending.
fooling anyone.
That man's playing Galaga.
Just so
But
you
pick-
can
so-
get a look at the haziness and the type of head, Thomas,
It's...
and other people maybe.
You with the 4-pack, you get a lager, you get the Spice Wasner, you get a like a cranberry.
Isn't it? I call it a Weiss beer because it's just white beer in German.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, Weiss beer then, and a stout.
I drink
Oh man,
a
that
Weiss
thing was
beer.
terrifying. It's like that doll head thing that Sid makes. And,
Wouldn't you drink a Weiss beer? Adam?
Yeah. Speaking of Weiss beer, Ruby season 4 is starting to. Season 5 is starting on Saturday. It's already out.
Where is this?
Mars.
Oh, okay. So, this is just a segue. This is not on the list, is it?
Oh no! Oh.
Okay. I'm looking at the
No.
thing. I'm like, what's he talking
Well, he
about?
said
Where
it's
is this
a
on
Weiss
the list?
beer. Yeah. Anyway,
And by season 4, I mean season 5. Ruby Volume 5. Sorry.
it's also probably
Sure.
Weiss. I'm sure that's how Germans
Oh,
would
it
say
is
it. It's
Vice. Yes.
But they say it wrong in Ruby for American reasons.
Weiss sounds cooler than Weiss.
Yeah.
Although Weiss is closer to like winter.
There's also a German car manufacturer called Weissman, which is spelled Weissman. So, take
Well, there
that,
we go.
Take that, Rooster Teeth.
We've beaten
Idiots.
Miles Luna 50, us 2.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, so
So, did you explain why we're playing this, Rory?
Yeah, it's small
Okay.
and it's spooky.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Uh,
Small file size, you mean?
similar to
Oh my
Andrew's
God!
penis.
What happened to what's his name? Ironside, Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside.
It does look like Michael
it
Ironside.
kind of does, actually.
Is it Michael Ironside?
No, there's no
Okay.
way, right? Like,
His eyes look
gonna
like
look it up.
garbage. It's
Look
definitely
it up.
not.
See who's in this game.
Again, we can't hear the audio.
yeah, so we can't tell. Like, Michael Ironside
I'm
has
just gonna
a-
pretend.
he's
So
just
speaking of spooky,
glasses.
speaking of spooky games, Rory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Speaking of spooky games, so The Evil Within 2 released to positive reviews earlier this week.
Really?
I wanted to talk about this for a bit, because I think The Evil Within, like, the first game, is a really interesting case study in, like, game reception, because when it released to what I think can be accurately described as generally favorable reviews. It might actually be the definition of generally favorable reviews. Like, critics liked it, but they didn't like it a whole lot. Right?
Also, the trailer for this one sucked.
At
least
if
the
you've
E3
never played
trailer.
The Evil Within, the trailer for this one sucked. So what happened with the first game, even though it was like sort of like critics liked it, they didn't love it. Fans, they split right down the middle. Some of them loved it, and some of them hated it.
I wasn't a fan, although I didn't.
Adam,
I didn't
play
really
the
play a
first game?
lot of it.
Oh.
Yeah, I played the first levels. Is that the one? The first levels in like a hospital or something like that?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't like that because I find the hospital and even more so the psych ward.
You don't like that setting, do you?
It's so overdone because it's an automatically spooky setting anyway. So it's kind of like you're not. I feel like people who put their games in that kind of setting are like, you're not trying as hard because it's already a spooky setting. It's like, oh, it'd be like having your game set in like a graveyard. Like you're not trying because this is already spooky. What was that guy wearing?
That guy.
Clothes.
That's a weird helmet. Doesn't really match the rest of his armor.
There's no eyes in it either.
I can't see any of this, by the way.
I'm told it's the latest fashion in London.
It's all a Victorian colonial reference there from Rory.
Can't wear eyeless masks after Labor Day.
So anyways, but what happened with The Evil Within was, over the years, if you like read forum posts and things about it now, you would assume that the reaction was all positive, because the people who hated The Evil Within just stopped playing it and went on to play something they liked, and the people who loved it kept playing it.
The only real criticism I heard about the first game was that it used like turbo widescreen to minimize the amount of screen real estate to maximize frame rate.
Okay, so
Also,
like one of those things is not debatable. The fact that it uses turbo widescreen. I happen to like the use of turbo widescreen in that game. That's a personal preference issue. It's the same.
that's the technical term as well, by the way.
If you don't know
Turbo widescreen.
the Evil Within, it's the same director who did Resident Evil 4, right?
You can never tell that.
Okay.
The games are very different.
Sounds like I'm going to hate it.
It has a lot of like old
Get the
school Resident Evil
C-3PO
traffic,
struck bars on it.
like the way Resident Evil like sort of
You
used
might
to
be
be.
wondering how I got this green
And
head.
I think it's the way Resident Evil is kind of going back to now. But
Yeah, I don't.
like-
So can you aim
actually,
and move
Resident
at the same
Evil
time?
is getting to an area where it's never been before, which is scary and good.
I think it totally has been, though.
I like old Resident Evil. Now, Adam, you're not a fan.
No, because the same reason I don't really like the first Silent Hill game. The second one kind of gets a pass, but I hate games that
fuck
take
is
the
this
camera
thing?
away from you and stick the camera up in the corner of some fucking room as you're trouncing around. Because going from one room to the next room shouldn't be an exercise in figuring out what the fuck direction up on the D-pad is going to take me.
Yeah.
If I'm holding up on the D-pad as I'm entering a room, and then all of a sudden I start sprinting to the right because the camera angle changed and my point of reference has changed, that's bad game design.
Thankfully, that's not an issue now.
No.
They've moved away from that, and of course, The Evil Within doesn't really have that issue.
No.
So yeah, the second one got about the reception the first one got, but with games like this that like only fans are into, I'm really sort of only interested in hearing what fans think, if that makes sense. Like, this isn't going to hit big with critics. It probably was never, that was probably never
Or with a
guessed
wide
for its
audience.
fate. Yeah, exactly. So I'll be interested to see what the guys who played the first Evil Within say about the second Evil Within.
I heard
and
it was
I'm also excited
crazy
to play it myself.
in that it kept switching different settings. So it went from, and I will admit I didn't give the game a chance. I'll be the first to admit that. And apparently right after the spooky psych hospital setting, which I thought was kind of a rip-off of Outlast, which itself is just a terrible horror game.
What?
Well, I think Outlast is a rip-off of all of that guy's work that inspired it, probably.
Yeah.
I think it's like a circular.
I ripped off who?
Well, Outlast kind of ripped off. Well, not ripped off, but was inspired by.
Was it probably
Inspired
it was
by what?
inspired by guys like the director of Resident Evil and stuff, like guys who did work like that, right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's debatable. I mean everything is an influence of everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean is now that guy's still making games, so now his stuff is getting influenced by Outlast. And
Yeah,
keep going
yeah,
back and forth,
exactly.
which I'm satisfied
Yeah, and I mean
with.
that's to say as well,
Access denied. Okay, I didn't
somebody
read that.
who influences another person to make an iteration of that
Around.
same concept could then also be in turn be influenced by the person who made an iteration of the thing.
So for anyone who's
There's your objective, Rory.
okay,
Oh,
yeah.
turn around.
Reach old comms
Turn around.
bill. Press the
No,
button that
keep
shows
going,
you
keep going,
the way
keep
you
going.
gotta go.
Turn around. Turn to the right. Walk out. Left. Down there.
You can go down there.
Oh, I assumed that. I thought that was some sort of duck that was going to teach you the crouch mechanic.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, excuse me for thinking this was a well-crafted game.
I forgot that.
Teaches
Oops.
you
Yeah,
crouch
control is fire, not
Oh,
What?
I'm gonna
Not
turn
crouch.
the fridge off.
so
Well, what's the left mouse button?
fire.
Oh, you have 2 fire buttons.
Yeah.
Oh, double the frame. Well, why does it work now?
I have no idea.
Probably some story bullshit fucking
Yeah,
thing.
there's probably something happening like on the audio that I haven't played this game in years, so that's
That's
why.
my favorite part about a game is when you're playing it the second time and you know all the controls and you can't fucking do half of them because they're disabled at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, it's like, or like when you're playing Pokemon, like to be like, I'm gonna teach you how to catch a Pokemon. I feel like sitting the professor down and being like, look, I have been playing these games since 1997 or whenever the fuck they came out.
That should be an option.
Red, yellow, silver, crystal, sapphire,
Oh man, Favor magazine.
platinum, black 2, X, Y, friggin' sun, moon, Omega Ruby. I've played them all. I know how to catch a fucking Pokemon. I've caught more Pokemon in my lifetime than you'll ever fucking see.
Slaps mouth. I just spilled half of my drink all over myself.
That's good.
I sneezed in it.
Anyway, so as I was going to say before, I heard that later on the game gets... Who the fuck designed that? What the fuck kind of sense does that make for a walkway? Just have it, like, retract in. So,
the Lamborghini walkway.
oh, my God. Anyway, so, like, I heard that there was... after the spooky psych ward level, there was, like, spooky forest levels and, like, and other levels that were not set in the psych ward, which is very lazy. So, so hopefully the game will get... You know, like, I should try to give the game another chance. But,
What game?
Evil Within.
Evil
Pick
Within.
it up cheap on a sale.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
own it,
And then
Rory?
if you really like it, you can go for
Is it on Steam?
the second one. Oh yeah, of course.
Do you own it?
Who makes
yeah,
it?
I do.
Okay, I'll probably
You can
play
play
it then.
it. Yeah.
Who makes it?
It's the
Bethesda published it.
the
and
tiny ZeniMax
okay.
thing. Whichever I forget what they're called now,
Mini
but they're one of the
Max.
ZeniMax guys. So that the Bethesda family, if you will.
That guy's hand is real fucked up.
Have you seen the new Wonder Woman comic?
Is that gun, Rory?
I'm sorry.
That gun you got looks like Decker's gun from Blade Runner, which I recently watched for
Oh.
the first time.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
man.
right. Aaron just watched Blade Runner. Did I put that in here? I should have put that in here.
Segways all over
I
the
just
gaff.
I just forgot that I just remembered that I watched it, but I had previously forgotten that I did. That's an okay movie.
I don't think that's the airlock.
I don't know if
No, I
I would
agree.
give it
This
as
is
high
their
a
lock.
praise as people give it. I mean, obviously, it's a product of the time. And it just goes back to what we were talking about earlier, things influencing other things. Blade Runner totally influenced a lot of things. You know,
Oh, yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like Ex Machina or Westworld.
Well, Blade
I mean,
Runner's huge.
Maybe not Westworld,
Well,
because that's based
Westworld-
on a
Well, to be
already
fair-
existing thing.
To be fair,
But-
it's not Blade Runner. It's Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep is the big influencer. I mean, Blade Runner's influenced a
Yeah.
lot of film and
I
Blade
think
Runner
it's just the style more so is
Yeah.
what I mean, not necessarily the concept.
Yeah, I was
But-
gonna say like the movie influences the style, but Do Android's Dream of Electric Sheep
Yeah.
influenced the genre.
And I
If that
think
makes sense.
the modern Westworld has also been influenced by those types of things as well. I mean,
Zoom
obviously,
in on my face there.
sweet. Now I gotta watch the whole podcast.
You don't
Yeah.
have to.
But anyway, yeah, I think like even the modern Westworld has been influenced by modern things. It's not a carbon copy of the '70s movie. Otherwise, it'd be feces. And it's not. It's really good. But Blade Runner, I think, for me, having watched it now after seeing stuff like Ex Machina,
Why does he look like shit?
Because it's like a
Oh,
2000
he's Asian. We don't have to render him properly.
2004 game. I don't know.
Yeah, but the other guy in the back looks half
He's
decent.
the main character, though. Maybe.
Is
Anyway,
sorry.
my point is that it's not as impressive a film having seen better things. You know what I mean? I would say Ex Machina is a better film.
Having learned all the like filmmaking lessons since
because
the 80s,
yes.
it is worth something.
The trouble with this film is it very much tackles the is a robot like? Can a robot not be human, more or less, or what really is human or humanity and that type of thing? And so it does a pretty decent job at kind of humanizing and kind of making you think, well, maybe the good guys aren't the good guys, maybe the bad guys are the good guys, and vice versa. And
Crack shot Rory.
And there's a lot
I'm
of...
not using this mouse sensitivity.
I think I watched the director's cut as well, which changes the ending to be more ambiguous. But I feel like a lot of these films and a lot of 80s, early 90s films were ambiguous for the sake of being ambiguous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they left stuff out to let you feel it in your imagination, but in the context of the film, it just seems like it doesn't have an answer. Whereas a film like not Interstellar, but Inception, that has a very ambiguous ending, but I think the whole film is done in a way it tells a story no matter what. Like Blade Runner, for example, it'll tell you a story, but then there's a clear division between what's being told and the things that are absent. So if you're seeing it that way, then you're kind of not getting the story. Whereas you talk to people who watch Inception, they'll say
That was
like,
an awesome movie. We're going deeper, and then they end up in the
in a bookshelf.
Yeah, like help us! We're in a
Jesus.
bookshelf somehow.
I'm asleep. What the fuck? I was on a plane a minute ago.
Do you think you can go so deep in your dreams that, like, all of a sudden it's like you wake up and you're still sleeping on the couch, but you're like you're also awake?
Then
like,
you become
like,
Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
with the big dong.
Like, yeah, I'm cool with this. But with a film like Inception, like everyone that I've talked to will give you a different meaning of the film, and it's like you can very clearly see it that way because it's presented ambiguously in the film.
Can I just jump in?
Yep, jump all over the place.
Sorry.
Oh man, you got spooked by the sparks and shadows.
Oh.
Right?
It's a bit spooky in
So,
here. Sorry, Rory. I don't know if you read the updated script that I wrote for this.
not enough spook.
But you're not reacting like I want you to. I need you to react like a YouTube.
Like
an
a
act.
YouTube.
We need to be a real YouTuber.
Gotta find another way around, Rory. Oh, okay.
Okay, well, let's jump over. He's got legs, man.
And a regular game did be find another way around.
Yeah, exactly, and it would have been bullshit there.
Damn, just one step's gone. Better find another way
That guy
around.
took that bullet like a champ, because the first bullet really should have killed him, but he was like, no, I'm going to keep going.
That guy
I got
didn't
a good
know-
feeling if I keep shambling forward.
That guy didn't know it was on the other side of the door, but it didn't keep him from reaching. Maybe I'll guess something.
Actually, what he was saying, he was just like, help us! You just hear,
Open the door! What? The fuck is going on in there? I'm like, do I hear Star Wars music over there or something? Oh shit, I've seen this movie.
it's a pretty good impression.
So,
That's not bad.
Aaron,
man, that guy-
a
what the
couple few
fuck?
it's
podcasts
like if
ago.
Wes Anderson have directed a gunfight.
Okay,
There's two
someone-
people standing together and plugging away at each other.
Toss the box at him now, fuck him up. Hiya.
Can I just say, before we
Anyway,
say
the
something
best
late-
part of Blade Runner was the gun.
Yeah, actually, no. The best part of Blade Runner is that final line that the replicant says before he dies. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite lines in
Yeah, I guess
in
it felt
I'll have
like
what she's having.
that's not what he says. My
That ruins the movie.
when I'm gone, my memories will be lost like tears in rain, is what he says.
Yeah.
And it's poetic, but again, it's like a product of the '90s, and it's totally lost on me because I've seen modern things that were influenced by it.
Did you know he improv that?
Did
on the
he?
spot? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good for a guy that looks like he was evil from the beginning.
I will say the movie wasn't when I was going into the movie, I was expecting like kind of a Matrix kind of thing, so like non-stop action, and it wasn't that at all. So that threw me a bit. But I went back
Yeah.
and watched it again. I'm like, no, this is actually.
I
like this.
actually quite like that about the film, that it was slow, because it gave like that's something that like Ghost in the Shell, which is very similar in tone, doesn't do. It's like it's a film that's very steeped in itself, but it never takes a moment to stop and look at stuff. Whereas Blade Runner, the soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. I'll take the gun back. The soundtrack is the best part of the film. They do a lot of like these little story segments, and then there's like 10 minutes of establishing shots, and it's like, this is awesome because you're like steeping me in this world, and you're taking the time to like introduce it to me. I really appreciated that. It wasn't just action scene after action scene with some cool neon shit.
I'm gonna make a statement here. I think you would have really liked this movie if this was the 80s.
Oh yeah, if I had seen this before like everything else, it would have been like the film.
So I'm really looking for. I think the reason like you watched it, correct me if I'm wrong, is that we're all planning on seeing the second one sometime soon. Hopefully sometime this week or next week.
Yeah, hopefully
or weekend. Sorry, were you down for that?
Yeah, totally.
So that will give you a full report on that. Oh, that's probably that's a hazard.
That's an engine there. Some inside an engine.
Was that a crankshaft?
It looked like a crankshaft.
Crankshaft is what I meant.
A crankshaft. That's what my shaft is with your model.
So yeah, we're planning on seeing that. We'll give you a full report on that when we get back.
Heard good things, but nobody's going to see it, so I'll probably go see it maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rory, you doing segue or something?
Yeah, sure. So let's talk about this Rick and Morty disaster.
Oh.
Do you mean what the subpar writing of the finale of season 3?
No, I don't.
It's actually really good.
What's your flashlight attached to, Rory? Just turn it on and walk next to a wall?
It's attached to my left shoulder.
Oh, is it? Okay.
One can only assume based on where it's pointing.
I was wondering why it's so far off to the side.
So for those, I'm sure everyone knows this story by now, but I just think it's hilarious.
Nope, explain it to me.
I think we should talk about it. So, in Rick and Morty,
in the season 3 opener of Rick and Morty,
Rick, he really wants Szechuan sauce.
I've seen the very briefly. I'm going to explain this. He's trapped in his own mind, and because this alien government agency is trying to get information on him about how to build his like interdimensional portal gun, and so they trapped him in his own mind and they're torturing him with his own memories. And so they're like, don't you want... So they're driving around, and he stops in front of a McDonald's, and the alien's like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm going to get some McNuggets. He's like, but we're in your memory to try and solve your past dilemmas. Don't you want to do it? It's like, yeah, but like this is 1996. McDonald's came out with a limited time sauce based on the movie Mulan called Szechuan sauce. And it was really good, and you can't get it anymore. The only place I can get it in my memory, so they go in and they get some Szechuan sauce. And then the internet lost their mind. But I hadn't heard of this what Rory's talking about. I heard they brought it back briefly.
I think I know what Rory's talking about.
Did they ever?
So they're bringing it back again.
Okay, so hold on. Let's start from the beginning, not at the end.
I didn't know what the beginning was.
So the beginning is... So if you don't know who created Rick and Morty, it's Dan Harmon, and who we all are familiar with.
Of Community fame.
Of
thrown
Community
out of
fame.
his own show.
So
for some reason.
Anyway, so McDonald's sent him like a container of the Szechuan sauce, and
which I don't know what the fuck
he
is in
sell
it. No, he ate it.
It's just Szechuan sauce. You can buy it at the fucking supermarket.
Oh no, yes, but it gets worse, as you're aware, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I know, but a lot of people I've talked to online are like, "Oh my gosh, Szechuan sauce!" They make it sound like it's diamonds. Like,
well, don't worry. Most of the people involved in this situation
buy it at your local grocery
fucking
store
morons,
for like
so don't
$3.
expect anything from them. So anyways,
it's just garlic and
so
chilies.
McDonald's said, "Hey, this was good press for us. It would be even better if we brought back Szechuan sauce for like a day or whatever." So they brought it back in pre-advertised, extremely limited quantities, about 20 packets per participating store, and all the Rick and Morty fans were going crazy beforehand, and boy did they go crazy when they showed up and found out that the extremely limited quantities was an accurate assessment of how much there actually was. Can
I point out, first off, I don't know what McDonald's was trying to advertise here, because like their McDonald's are they're the best selling like fast food franchise in the world, and what are they trying to do? Advertise McNuggets? Everyone knows what McNuggets are. You could be a 5-star Michelin chef and admit that their McNuggets are better than chicken nuggets that you can make. Yeah,
but I mean, let's look at it realistically. You're not going to pass up on an opportunity to advertise like this.
No, fair enough. But they should have done this back in fucking June or July, when the episode was still fresh in everybody's mind. This is such a fucking blunder.
So, anyways, the Rick and Morty fans showed up. They were upset there wasn't enough Szechuan sauce, and then they all turned into
down to
freaks.
Dominion and bought some.
And like there were
People
like
on the internet acting poorly?
They were like yelling at the McDonald's employees and like freaking out. And there's lots of videos of this, and you can find lots of videos online of people defending the Rick and Morty fans. So, well, McDonald's should have supplied more. No one should pander to these fucking morons.
They should have supplied more, but at the same time, that's no excuse to act like an asshole.
And the irony of this whole thing
is that door closed?
The irony of this whole thing is that Rick and Morty is a show that's touted by all the fans to be very intelligent and
their fans are not.
Not only are their fans not, but the fans have always claimed to be sort of like kind of, I'll say, above the average fan of a show, right? They're quite satified with themselves that they watch Rick and Morty. What am I supposed to know the code for this? Oh, I can access my PDA somehow.
Like 023 or something. I like how you pulled up the thing that was portrait and it wasn't when you zoomed in on the screen.
What am I supposed to do now?
Landscape.
Okay, that didn't seem to help me.
I don't know.
So I saw this thing once that it was a Venn diagram for shows, and there was 4 main categories: about smart people, for dumb people, about dumb people, for smart people. So like a show for smart people about dumb people is like Arrested Development. A show about smart people for dumb people is about The Big Bang Theory. And in the middle of all that was Futurama. That was the one that was in the very center, and I agree with that. I think the other one that's like that is Rick and Morty. It's a show about dumb people, for smart people, about smart people, for dumb people. Because there's quantities in both. It's a very clever show.
It's
much cleverer than I am.
I think it's... Damn it.
Oh, hang on, guys. Wait.
Here we go.
I think But yeah, the intelligence of the fans is just so ridiculously overblown by themselves.
I mean, Rory, this could have been Star Wars and been a bunch of rabid Star Wars fans, or it could have been Star Trek fans.
Yeah, they could have been offering Wookiee sauce.
Oh yeah, no, but it wouldn't have been half as ironic.
No, it wouldn't have been, no. I'll give you that one.
Right, that's the thing. It's the fact that they boast about their intelligence.
Sure, I'd love to have some Chewbacca juice.
That really boosts it, right?
Want a cup of Java juice? Did she say Jawa juice, by the way, that droid when he goes into Dex's diner?
Who?
Like Obi-Wan goes into Dex's diner, and there's that robot on the wheel that looks like she's out of the Jetsons. And she says, "You want a cup of Java? Is it Java juice or Jawa juice? Because one of those
is Jamba, because isn't that an actual thing?
Maybe
it's not a Jamba juice, Aaron.
What is it?
It's not like a mainline chain that serves Jamba juice.
What do you mean?
Jamba juice is a thing in reality.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It was some
Dude, they're
weird...
not gonna take a...
I was ironically saying it was some weird product placement because it's George fucking Lucas, and he would totally do that.
I always pronounced it.
I always pronounced it Jawa juice.
Did you die?
Oh, shit.
Are we all the way back here?
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go, guys. 20 red chilies, 4 to 5 shallots. 15 cloves of garlic.
How many?
And 15 cloves of garlic.
15?
All right, Aaron. Aaron, what are you reading?
The ingredients for Szechuan sauce.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that. You just started.
I was going to explain it at the end.
15 cloves of garlic.
Also for making a big fucking pot of it, man.
Still, like 2 is enough.
2 tablespoons of water for grinding red chilies.
It's McDonald's.
Rice vinegar. Szechuan peppers. I mean, go figure. You can make it yourself. It's a sauce that exists. This isn't something that
my whole
starts
point
out
in bringing
of a
this
vat
up is just that this thing is a hilariously ironic disaster.
Yeah.
But it exists. Who gives a fuck about like a $64,000 vat of Szechuan?
Freaks, the same people who rate things on Google. Seriously.
Like somebody said, I heard somebody say on Twitch.
Random jive at Google.
I heard somebody say on Twitch, I want to get a packet so I can taste it and try and replicate the recipe.
Binging with
you
Babish.
You can fucking Google it and get the recipe.
Yeah, binging when the episode first came out, Binging with Babish recreated the recipe as best as he could. He got 3 different types. He found one on Reddit he made actual Szechuan sauce. He made one on Reddit that was supposed to be close, like it was like a screen that some guy remembered what the recipe was, and then he made another one by taking barbecue sauce and sweet and sour sauce from McDonald's and pouring them together. It's like, there we go, that's probably what it is. And then he actually made the actual thing and then tried, and he was like, yeah, this isn't as good as any of the other stuff I made, including the sweet and sour and barbecue together.
We don't even have all the fucking flavors that they offer for McNuggets here.
No.
They have...
Of course we don't.
Sweet and sour sauce, that's it, is it not?
No, you can get
barbecue.
honey. and barbecue.
Okay,
and you can also get McChicken.
Well, they've added a few more flavors to it in
Have
recent
they?
years. Then, well, in the States, there's all kinds of fucking dipping.
Yeah, well, that's the
sauces
States. You can get rice with your McDonald's in the States because they're weird down there.
Rice with their McDonald's. I'm sure there's a lot of Americans ordering that.
Yeah, you could get. You can't get it in mainland America from at least as far as I can tell.
What a
but you
weirdo.
can get it in Hawaii.
Eating rice.
It was white rice. I don't get me wrong. I like rice, but this was like white rice.
Some of that sif rice, man.
And I don't know. It was
entitled prick ass rice.
Anyway, you want to move on from this?
Yeah, kind of.
Rory, have you seen you've seen the new episode of Star Trek, right?
I have. Yeah, I've watched the new
Star
series
Trek
now.
Discovery Channel available now.
So, okay,
so did they just show you how to make like phasers and stuff?
This is like a solid time to avoid Star Trek fans in like the history of the world. Like, and to be fair, like it's oftentimes a solid time to avoid Star Trek fans. Like that's like a good rule in general. But like this in particular, so Star Trek Discovery
strip fall of his pocket
has decent acting.
Okay.
Anybody in it? Is there anybody like not unknown?
Jason Isaacs.
I don't know who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that Oscar Isaac's brother?
Yeah, and he added an S onto his last name and became British just to fuck with people.
That's just dedicated. Good job.
Is Jason really?
Yeah, and he's good in it. Obviously, it's fucking Jason Isaacs. He was like
Who does he play?
He was Dad Malfoy in Harry Potter. Aaron?
Oh, stupid. Evil elf guy or whatever.
You mean Lucius Malfoy?
Yeah, but I didn't
Malfoy.
think that would like assist.
By the way, their names are Draco's father's name is Lucius. His name is Draco, and then Draco's son's name is Scorpius. Scorpius.
Yeah, probably destined family with those names, man.
Yeah, for real though. So
I don't know. I really didn't. I mean, I know you're not supposed to like that father figure guy, but what a dickhead. Sure, the actor's a nice guy, but
he is, apparently.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So who does he play?
He plays the captain.
Oh, I thought the captain was a black woman.
No.
Oh.
That is the main character, but that is not the captain.
Oh, sorry. I just assumed that they were doing the normal Star Trek thing where the captain is the main character.
No, they've altered that a slight bit here.
I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Just because we're seeing it again, I really don't find this very scary because, like, I'll even give, which isn't a scary, it's actually a terrible game, but I'll even give Dead Space something over this game where, like, the enemy, at least when the enemies pop out, it's not in the cutscene, and they're not clearly standing within shotgun range when you exit said cutscene, are able to just blow them away with your fucking shotgun.
yeah, that's why games where you can
The thing
shoot
is,
enemies.
Doom is never really scary.
No.
I
have heard
about
people
the
say
atmosphere.
I've heard people say that this is a scary game, and I'm like, really?
They're wrong about that.
Hulking dude with shotguns, like that's like that. It'd be different if the shotguns didn't work and like these guys were unkillable.
I think it was different back then, though. When it was
I think it was different back then, depending on the age you were as well. When
it wasn't.
Played it.
I mean, I remember with this when it first came out, and it wasn't scary, but it was definitely. It had spooky elements to it.
And the atmosphere as well is different when you're playing by yourself.
Yeah, when you have the lights turn out and the speakers turn way up, headphones on.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And then a dude jumps out of the vent with his intestines hanging out, and you're like, ugh. There's a little bit of a spook to it, you know. Not too bad. It's probably maybe a little, well, maybe not.
I've died there twice.
Audience, I hope you really like this particular section of the game because we're going to be seeing a lot.
I mean, it's a podcast, don't matter.
Don't matter.
So, Discovery's no good?
No. So, although
Don't watch it, no good.
Dialogue is not good, and its acting is good, its Star Trek is pretty good.
What network is it on?
So, is it... Like how many Beastie Boys songs?
I believe it's on CBS. Yeah, CBS.
Okay.
No Beastie Boys songs, thank God, because it's not in that
somehow
continuity.
Better than the films already.
It's not in the film's continuity.
What continuity is it?
It's in the mainline Star Trek continuity.
Really?
Yeah.
I assumed that the films were the new mainline Star Trek continuity. Oh,
nope.
Good.
They're not. Yeah, and Adam is right. That is good.
So all the shows are canon to one another, not the films.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
So it provides a
it's
clean
more of a
divide.
side canon.
Yeah, well,
technically the
new
movies
films are canon.
Yeah, but it's an alt canon. Ooh,
Yeah.
spooky! The honeycomb.
This is very cloven.
Yeah,
you
it's not the Kelvin verse. It's
it's good. It's just
it's the main line.
It's less sweeter than when I started drinking it because I just finished drinking Dr. Pepper.
So
So, like, do you think it's just a show? Because, like, every Star Trek I've ever seen falls into this, where it takes, like, a season to find itself. Except for the first one, arguably.
okay, so
And even then.
it might be, but already they've done a lot of stuff correct. They're already not just, like, it's not taking, like, the sort of cheap way out and just being an action show. It's trying to tackle some of the stuff that mainline Star Trek tackles.
Really.
So, is it... Because I'm watching it as of this recording tomorrow, although it will be, a couple of days ago when this comes out. Is this like... It takes place in between Enterprise and the original series, right?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
And is it focusing on the Klingon, on, like, the beginnings of the Klingon Federation War?
Yes.
Okay.
It's Star Trek is pretty good. There's one or two continuity errors, which I'm not even kind of okay with. But,
what are they?
It has to do with the technology that's present a lot of times. Like, there's a couple technologies that shouldn't be there.
Like what?
Things like the holographic projection.
Oh, yeah, they don't have that.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's...
Maybe it's prototype.
But a lot of the complaints are also not kind of nonsense, too. Like, some of the fans were like, well, it's supposed to be way back in the day, but, like... the appearance of it looks more like one of the new movies. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. It's because it's not fucking 40 years ago.
Yeah.
We have technology now to make things not look like shit.
Well, I mean, you say that though. I think Star Wars.
Oh, he's got a gun. Gotta get out of here.
Star Wars has recognized that that's part of its aesthetic. Like they did the prequels, and I think with the prequels, everyone's assessment of it was, why does everything look new and smooth and clean and stuff? And obviously that has to do with it being, not a war-torn society. But they've had the luxury of now going back after Episode 6. And even though we have technology that's advanced 30, 40 years in terms of filmmaking, the aesthetic of the film remains the same.
The aesthetic definitely remains the same. There are a couple special effects that are better, but also Star Wars has the unique advantage of always having had
billions
great
of dollars
effects,
behind it, yeah.
right? And in its day, it was very revolutionary for even just for the money they had,
as well as Alien Isolation. I think that was maybe one of the first modern games that took place in an existing thing and paid homage
properly,
well as you can do to the original thing.
It did a great job,
with the old tiny CRT monitors and the buttons and everything, like the old really kind of shitty technology. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It was great.
It was like the Griswold's van in space.
It made that retro technology goes hand in hand with spooky stuff. Mm-hmm. I think.
I'm a really big fan of any kind of retro future. I love 80s retro future. I really love 50s and 60s retro future, where everything's like chrome and everyone looks like the Jetsons and there's fucking rings everywhere and like all the spaceships look like cigars. Like, I love that.
Yeah, that's less dystopian than...
Oh yeah. That's more like that's what Star Trek was trying to be. Star Trek was futuristic. Like, the original series was futuristic for the time. Now it's retro future almost. Because of the aesthetic. Also, like there's some weird stuff that happens in the original series that nobody really talks about, because there's like flat out one episode where Kirk marries two people in like the Enterprise church.
He gets married.
There's a chapel. And he marries two people.
And then it's never brought up again.
No, and because the dude dies immediately.
So he weds two people together, not marries two people.
No, he weds two people together.
He weds two people together. He weds a dude with the worst actress of all goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
The legit that episode still stands out in my mind as like some of the worst line delivery I've ever heard.
That dude's all about that polygamy, man.
So so Star Trek Discovery, not bad. It's got some issues. Sure, the dialogue is really not great. There's no way around it.
Do you think it'll improve though when the show finds itself? Because, to be fair, like the dialogue in the first couple episodes of the original of the Next Generation, which in my opinion is one of the best shows ever made, in the first season, especially the first couple episodes, is atrocious.
Yeah, I agree. It had some work to do as well. But it's not that bad, and that dialogue got away with really good acting, right? The acting in this is good, but it's not that good. You know?
Okay.
It's
CBS good.
So we're not talking about there's no Jonathan Frakes.
Yes, exactly. And also, obviously, one of the big standouts about this show is that it lost its showrunner almost immediately, right?
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, Brian Fuller left the show right away.
Why?
So I have no idea why.
Interesting.
So I mean, you hear that, and you know about Brian Fuller, and you know his resume, and you got to think,
What else
well,
has he done?
damn.
Disappeared.
Well, he did like Pushing Daisies. Did you ever see
yeah.
Yeah, he just like, and he's done just a metric ton of stuff like over the years. Usually, I think he's generally regarded as fairly underappreciated.
I want
but
Jonathan Frakes to direct it.
I would love to
Is
see
that,
Jonathan Frakes do the
Will
next
Riker?
Star Trek film,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
He walks over the back of chairs a lot.
Yeah, he does.
All the time.
A surprising amount in that show. Nobody ever really brings it up.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Or can you quick save?
No.
Okay.
Do you think this is a Bethesda game?
Can you save at all?
Oh man, you can save.
I was going to say, because we got past that part now.
So, all right, just hit F5 when you get back into the game.
That's just regular save.
You can
though.
quick save. It's still a hotkey though.
But what I mean is, I think it loads you to the last checkpoint.
Oh, that's stupid.
The
So hit F9 then. Right now, hit F9.
what?
Hit F9. We're about to find out. Oh no, yeah, you're right where you were.
Oh, good.
Totally has quick save.
Okay.
Rory
I did not
misremembered
know
his
that.
name.
I never used quick save back in the day. Oh.
Rory's not one of us plebs. He doesn't quick save. He
So
counts the frames.
the Gifted started last week. I haven't watched it yet. Have any of you
That's
guys?
that mutant show, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
an X-Men related show with Amy Acker.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting she's in there. I should
But
watch that because I like Amy
She's
Acker.
we also determined that it's
Yay,
stupid.
Amy Acker, boo continuity.
Yeah, we determined it was stupid because she's already in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a violin player.
Wait. Is this part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yes.
You bet.
But they're mutants.
Yes.
That doesn't make any sense. Well, it does because there's a Marvel product, but like, why is Fox? Is it? Yeah, she's not even playing the same character, is
No.
she? Okay.
Well, CTV is doing it here. I don't know who has the American license.
Nazi TV.
Nazi TV.
Not CTV.
Oh, I gotta say, is Trump starting a new network or something?
The
Nazi
so
TV.
Best TV, highest education.
so is it no one's
be
seen
huge.
it? So no one's seen it?
Believe
Have you seen
No,
it?
I
Okay.
was planning on watching it, and then I didn't.
I haven't seen it either.
I think
I'll
something tried to
probably,
spook you there, Rory.
I've heard positive
Oh.
things about the pilot though, so I'll.
Oh!
Damn it.
I'll probably
Damn
watch
it.
it
It's
this
like
week if I can,
Velociraptors, Rory.
and I'll let you report back.
Boo.
You gotta watch that out, Rory. You don't gotta worry about the one from the front, but the ones from the side.
Which one's the most?
Just,
Oh, right.
The other two.
It's at the top, I guess.
Yeah, it's the
Didn't see 'em
top.
coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, go
I'll
on.
cut here or here.
I don't know what reference you're doing.
Spilling your intestines.
I
The
don't know
point
what
is,
reference that is.
you're alive when they begin to eat you. So try and show a little respect.
Sounds familiar. I don't know what
From
it's
Jurassic
from.
Park.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Pleb.
Oh, is Sam Neill talking to the fat kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
More like a 6-foot turkey. Thanks,
I
kid.
wonder where that kid is now.
He was Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, he trimmed out a lot for that role.
Do you think that fat kid is Lord Snoke?
Man, the theories keep getting better. The theories keep
Just
getting
hear
better.
Lord Snoke's like, Ray. More like a 6-foot turkey.
So,
I don't want.
what was it you sent me earlier in the weeks? The fucking Snoke is one of the fucking younglings.
Yeah,
from
he's the
episode
youngling
3,
who goes,
or,
Master
3.
Skywalker, there's too many of them. What are we going to do? And he just. Anyway, that kid's Lord Snoke.
Well, seeing as you brought it up, Adam, new Last Jedi trailer.
Yeah, the last one. The last of the Last Jedi trailers for the second movie that is not the last in the Star Wars series.
Okay, so consensus. Thoughts
I
on
didn't
the
watch it
trailer?
because I heard it was spoilery.
It is kind of spoilery,
Maybe.
potentially.
Oh, then
It
I'm not
also
gonna
might be
watch it.
misleading.
You saw it, Adam. What do you think of it?
I think it's more misleading than spoilery.
It could be the case. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good as well.
You have way more faith in the people who make trailers.
Well,
than I do,
director
then.
Ryan Johnson came out on Twitter before the trailer came out and said, "Don't watch the trailer; it's spoilery."
Yep.
That to me is a misdirect. Why would they intentionally do that? Why would they
Remember
put
the guy
out
behind you, Roy?
But
like
that's you have to realize it's Ryan Johnson. So why would he intentionally go along with what they wanted to market?
because they're trying to do a bait and switch, and Star Wars has always done that.
Well,
they're not
But
going
I'm
to
saying,
spoil
I understand the idea that Star Wars would do that, but why would Rian Johnson, who is now not working on that next movie?
I don't know, because it's still his film, though.
Well, yeah, I guess
if
so.
you made a Star Wars film, you'd be fucking talking about that for years. I would be.
But
Star Wars film.
talk about it. But I don't know if I'd be going along with their marketing strategy if all of a sudden I was not directing a movie I thought I was going to direct.
I don't know
pissed.
why. I don't know why they would come out and blatantly say that though. Like, if it's obviously spoilery,
all right.
Like if it's spoilery, then yeah, it's spoilery. But like, why would he come out and blatantly say like, "Don't watch this trailer"? The thing we're trying to get you to watch to go see the film, don't watch it.
I think
he already knows people are going to go see Star Wars. Is the thing.
Yeah, I just feel like it's a lot of creative edits because a lot of the things in the trailer, I'll try not to spoil it if you're still trying to withhold from watching the trailer. There are a lot of set pieces in this trailer that are cutaways from one thing to the other thing.
And I think it's very misleading because there's a bit in the trailer where one character is saying something and she's saying like, why can't anybody show me how to bake this cake? And then another character's holding, and then it cuts to another character holding out a whisk, and I'm like, maybe those are from the same scene, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're two independent cake-related scenes. I'm trying not to spoil it for Rory.
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, but like, the thing is, I really, ever since the Star Trek thing, I have no faith in the people who make trailers. I'm not talking about the
okay, just
Beyond
jumped up
trailer.
there for a bit.
Even if
What'd you say?
You just went whoop.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
in the instance that this trailer is directly from the film, there's like no creative edits, there's no cutaways from another thing. It's straight out of the film. This is the story we're getting. I don't think it spoils anything because it still doesn't answer any questions.
No, it just raises questions.
Yeah, it's like, what if this? And then it's like, well, what happens then? And well, you got to
because it would be like one character being like, "Will I make this cake?" And then the trailer is like, "Will this character make the cake?"
Yeah.
Or it'll be like, and this other character's like, "I really like." It's like, "Do I like pie?" It's like, "Does this character like pie?"
Yeah. Now it's spoilery. It's spoilery because it definitely draws attention to things that obviously, if you didn't watch the trailer, you weren't aware of. If you saw the first trailer, you wouldn't know anything from this trailer. It's completely different. There's like no repeated scenes, really. The first trailer is not spoiler in any way, I wouldn't say.
Good music, too.
But I mean, I guess it really depends on what you want to know. There's some people that are very like stagnant on not watching anything from the new Star Wars films. They're going to go see it
Sandy,
anyway.
for instance.
Why bother watching the
trailers?
trailers?
Watch anything.
Yeah, so, I mean, I can totally see that, but I'm impatient as fuck, so I'm watching these trailers. But I don't think it really answers anything, so... I mean, you know, if you're worried about, like, Ray, I am your father in the trailer, then it's like, you're not gonna get that.
Or whatever.
Rancor guy. So
can we have a podcast right before because we're doing a podcast right before we go see the movie, right? Can we have
a prediction podcast?
A prediction podcast. We just come up with the stupidest predictions we can. It's like, I think in this episode that the what are they? The Porgs?
Porgs.
They're there. The Porgs. It's like, I think the Porgs are actually the larval form of the Jawas. So when they go in the trailer, it's actually a very sped up version of Utini.
There was a theory that Maz Kanata was a Jawa. So there's also that to consider. Yeah, it's Porgs. And there's also, I guess that's kind of getting into spoilers, so I won't mention that. But there's another alien species maybe in the trailer. This probably has no... Yeah. Probably pretty inconsequential.
Yeah. And you get to see all of our favorites are back, including BB-8 and
yes,
and no C-3PO.
So I'm pretty sure the scene with BB-8 in it is entirely CG in the trailer, and it kind of looked not good.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it was, because they have Oscar Isaacs.
Isaac.
Whatever.
No, he added an S to match his brother. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Boy, that was very disrespectful.
I'm telling him. I'm telling Poe Dameron. You said
There's
that,
there's a reference Adam's making to a trailer we must have watched 10,000 fucking times.
Because we went to see like an advanced screening of
The Imitation Game.
And before that, they played. Was it the most violent year?
A Most Violent Year with Oscar Isaac.
And they played the same trailer.
Jessica
It wasn't
Chastain.
like they played the same trailer like 25 times.
It was like I lost. I thought I was going crazy.
Like me and
honestly.
Rory were starting like we had memorized the trailer.
Yeah, so we were like quoting. We started being able to quote. I still remember that
Yeah.
trailer, and you
What
know
the
why I
fuck
didn't
was
see that
that guy
movie
doing?
because of that.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Funny.
The
I bet it's one of those films that doesn't have any of the scenes from the trailer in it.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, so it looks good.
it definitely looks like a promising film. If you haven't watched the trailers yet and you're for some reason on the fence, totally go to it. Looks good.
Speaking of trailers and like I want to talk about this trailer is a very good way of getting it's a good example of how to get people excited with a trailer and how to make a good trailer. Let's talk about a trailer that does the opposite.
Pacific Rim released a trailer,
Pacific
and the
Rim
music was
Uprising.
So you guys didn't like that
disgusting.
either.
No.
No
Okay.
one liked that.
Well, you didn't really say you weren't about the trailer. You just kind of mentioned the music.
Oh, I hated the music, and it ruined the trailer for me.
It did ruin
Warm
the
bread.
I had the
warm bread. The warm bread is ready or whatever. Bread ready.
I did have to go back and watch it again, but I muted it. I muted the whole trailer because I couldn't stand that. So, like in the trailer, it shows like a bunch of different Jaegers and a bunch of different and a bunch of different kaiju and stuff. And it looks, like it doesn't look like it's gonna be like.
It doesn't look good.
It looks good.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. But it looks like it's going to be a very silly movie, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with a silly movie. But the trailer music is so awful. It'd be like putting like Hotel California to the trailer of like Inception.
And the sort of hilarious part of the trailer,
Although that would work better.
That probably would work.
There's a sample of a Tupac song that gets played over a completely unfitting background.
Yeah.
And the actual Tupac song would have worked 10,000 times better.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? Why?
When does that come out?
March?
I thought you meant the Tupac song, and I was like, probably a while ago.
I don't know. Tupac, man, he probably still got shit coming out.
It comes out in like March or February of 2018.
That guy recorded ahead. He knew he was gonna get glacked.
What day is it today?
Tupac
Oh shit! I only
song.
got a week left. I gotta write all these songs. All right. What rhymes with November?
I know, Jaeger. Let's do a thing film with John Boyega, who's only like 3 years old right now.
I don't understand how John Boyega has so much time on his hands to be making this movie if he's also making Battlefront.
And Star Wars,
And
where
Star
he's
Wars.
in a coma apparently for the whole film.
Oh, is he?
I don't know. Well, no, obviously not.
Okay.
But in all the trailers, he's just
Except for
friggin'
this one, where he's
lying down
very
on the
actively
coffin.
like, I want to. Can you help me make some bread? And then Lucas,
warm bread.
Lucas like, and Lucas like, I've only ever seen this bread once before. It didn't frighten me then. It does now.
You gonna cycle the airlock, or you just
I've
gonna...
only seen bread this big once before.
Roy, I think this is you've already been here.
Oh, I've already been everywhere in
It's like
this.
open the door and shoot out the airlock.
Oh, it's one of these games.
Anyway, the CG in that film looks way worse than the CG in the Star Wars trailer.
Yeah, it does. But I also think at the same time, the CG in the Jurassic World trailer looked really bad when the movie came out. It was actually
Yeah,
pretty good.
but
so.
I think
That's
it's less so the CG itself and more the camera movement. The camera movement seems very scripted.
To be fair, this wasn't a great trailer, so I'm sure it's better represented in the movie. I think the Jaegers look amazing.
They
The
look
Jaegers look cool.
Again, from what I said before on Discord was that it looks like a 90s film with or a 90s. It looks like a 90s TV show with a bigger budget.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
It might also be horrendous. That's also a
Well,
plus.
it's
Can-
not.
can
I
you
don't
get
think. I don't think it's going to be horrendous. I just think it's going to be generic. It's robots fighting aliens and with some kooky scientists and
Oh, I hate those
characters that you don't
characters.
really get attached to at all. It's
I
like
hear
I don't
they're
care
bringing
about
Sheldon
this.
in.
What?
I heard they're bringing Sheldon in to punch up
Who?
the dialogue. Sheldon from The Big Bang
Oh,
Theory.
yeah, great.
They're not actually. That was a lie.
That
was
would
a
be,
fib.
yeah.
Ah, great.
So yeah, really, like, I would honestly recommend checking out the trailer just to see what it's like to make a bad trailer for what's probably
Yeah.
going to be a half decent movie.
So
It might be a half decent movie. I'm reserving
I'd say
judgment.
I say it'll be half decent, but I'm not interested in it.
I like the first one.
I'm not.
That's what I can
attached to
say.
it. I wasn't crazy about it.
The
Too generic.
I love the first one.
But I'm not expecting this to be too much like the first one, because Del Toro is kind of a unique guy.
So can you, like... Hang on, just hang left, Rory?
I mean, not really.
Can you go, like, can you activate that bridge?
Yeah.
You got fucking
What, can't you go
Gladys.
that way?
Gladys doing the trailer.
That's where I came from.
Like,
Oh.
did that not throw you off about the teaser? Fucking Gladys doing the trailer.
Yeah, apparently she was in the movie because
Well,
Del Toro played the game.
likes her.
And yeah, liked her. So
But
she,
that, I don't know. It really does seem like a film that's like cherry picked pop culture references all mashed into one action film,
Yeah,
and
I'm.
it throws me off completely. That's probably why I'm not crazy
You're
about it.
probably not gonna like Ready Player One.
No, see, that's different because it acknowledges they're from other things.
Oh, okay.
Like the DeLorean says DeLorean on it, and the fucking
The Ferrari says Ferrari on it.
well.
The Iron Giant's
Other
going
shit in the film, like
Superman.
he's got the kit lights on it, and Lara Croft is in the trailer, and there's the black on black from Mad Max is in the trailer as well. Bigfoot with Bigfoot written on it, not like Big Feet or some weird license avoiding thing.
And it's Freddy Krueger and not Jerry Mooger or whatever.
Yeah, that film is going to be awesome if they get all the licenses for it, which apparently they have because the trailer was fucking chock full of it.
I wonder if
That's
they're gonna
cool.
get the Evas in.
If Gladys was Gladys in Pacific Rim, and like the robot was Super Ninja Warriors from the '90s TV show, then I'd be more about it because it's a self-aware thing that doesn't really give a fuck, you know. But that's kind of what Ready Player One is.
How funny would it be? Like if I was the woman who
Pacific
did
Rim is a
Gladys's
ripoff.
voice and I was Steam, I'd have Gladys have her own series of like Let's Plays on YouTube where she just did the voice and so she's playing like I don't know
What's
like
her name? Ellen McSomething?
and you'd be like, here we are playing Doom 3, a pathetic game that is hard for humans only.
That would totally be like a big thing on YouTube.
That'd be awesome.
Ellen McLean.
I wanted the Critical Role guys to do that, where they just do like a Let's Play, but as their like Grog playing Conan or whatever. That'd be awesome.
They did. Laura Bailey and Travis William did do a Let's Play with Achievement Hunter, but they barely talked in it. I think.
Well, they weren't in character.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they weren't in character, but they barely spoke in it at all. They may as well not even have been in it. They just said, I don't know what the fuck that was. Random scream from downstairs. Yeah, that'd be cool. They did. I don't know how you would do that though as a D&D character. Do a Let's Play as a D&D character in character.
Well, I mean, I would have thought the same thing about Team 4-Star doing it as their characters. Like, there's a whole bunch of Let's Plays where like the guy is Vegeta or Krillin playing it, and it works really well. So I think what he does is he records, and then he records the dialogue, or he records the game, and then he does the dialogue over the top, and he kind of improvs it slightly. Yeah. So I think you could do it.
You'd probably have to. With that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we're running out of time. What's the most important thing we want to
I was going to
talk
say,
about?
we're bringing up Critical Role. That kind of.
Oh yeah.
It didn't end, but it ended the Vox Machina story.
Yeah. So the Vox Machina, for people who don't know, was their party name in this D&D campaign, and they've been doing it for about 5 years. 3 years on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel,
and 2 years just in their own home game.
Yeah. So they've been doing it for a long time. Yeah. And so they've been very attached to these characters, and they're very good role players.
And they leveled up from level 1. Like I think Taliesin came in at around like level 2, 3, and same with Ashley Johnson. They both came in around level like 2 or 3. But like Laura, Marisha and Laura and Sam and Travis.
As well as O'Brien.
And O'Brien.
Liam and Orion.
Yeah.
Not O'Brien.
They were all
Orion,
they've all leveled up their characters from level 1 to level 20.
Yeah.
That like for 5 years. That's 5 years spent with the same character. That very rarely like I know Dungeons and Dragons is a great game. You very rarely actually get your character from 1 to 20. That very rarely happens. Because it takes so long. And most games break up for whatever reason.
It's very long. I mean, obviously 5 years.
All right.
And they've been playing, every week.
Yeah, for 5 years.
For 5 years. So I mean, this is a dedicated group.
So we're gonna do a new thing.
We're not done talking about Critical Role, Rory.
On the PixelJunkies podcast, and we're gonna do a speed round. through
We're
the
not going to
rest.
hammer through all these. Jesus Christ.
Damn right we are. We can do it.
No,
All right,
because we're not
let's
done.
start.
Well, we can go for.
We're not done talking about Critical
We can
Role.
go for another 5-10 minutes. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was a very emotional finale, and rightly so. Rightly so. Yeah, it's a good.
I mean,
finale.
they've gotten 114 episodes,
Yeah.
and now they haven't ended the show. The show Critical Role is still going to continue. But what they're doing is they're going to have a couple of one shots for a couple of months, and then
And in the new year, they're going to come back with a new campaign, new characters.
yeah. So
Presumably in the same world.
yeah, Matt Mercer is still going. It's going to take place a generation later.
Okay.
Matt said.
Yeah, it will have to. I will say, they ended it very well. It's a great ending. Like I never really thought about. I mean, I knew at some point they were going to have to end the series. I never thought it was going to have like a definitive ending. I kind of thought it'd be like Borderlands, where these characters will come back and they'll be like,
Oh, I like
NPCs
Borderlands.
you do quests for, or party companions or something like that. It doesn't really seem like it's going to be that way because they kind of have
They've kind of retired them all.
more like a definitive ending. Yeah, I mean
Okay.
they might some of them might come back, but
Because that'd be cool. It'd be cool if like they ran into because
Yeah.
how that would be because for fans as well that'd be really cool. Is like at like the first year mark they're like we got to rescue this really powerful mage that's been wandering this woods and it turns out that it's Keyleth or whatever.
yeah,
And it'd be
yeah.
like and like even the characters are like what like
yeah.
oh my god
I
like,
can totally see that happening. Matt's totally going to do that.
yeah
But it had much more of a like a story tale ending in terms of it ending, like having a last page to it than I thought it was going to.
assuming there was a lot of tears.
Oh yeah, I mean, I even shed a tear at the ending. It's like, they've been doing this stuff for 5 years. They've been dedicated to these characters, and to like hang up that hat as to like I'm never going to play this character again. It's it's a thing. I know it's only a game of D&D, but
But they're really
it's
you really
definitely a
get into the
chapter
characters,
closed.
and they're
Oh,
very
yeah.
good about like
It's very
keeping to
intense.
character.
Also,
and it's-
D&D isn't really like other games in terms of like the dedication you can develop to your character because
Yeah.
you build the character up and it takes a
yeah,
fuck
I mean
ton of
that's
time.
5 years of your life. You've thought about that days on end for weeks.
Yeah, and
months.
where you do the role playing yourself too,
Yeah.
I feel like adds like a certain element.
Yeah, and then when you detach yourself from that, it's like it's like losing a friend or something. So there's definitely emotions there, and there totally was with the group. They handled it really well though, and Matt did a great ending. So
So what's this I hear about Blizzard suing a Chinese
So-
company?
I love how this is the
China
fourth topic.
infringing
The-
copyright probably.
Yeah,
What?
so
That never happened.
This Chinese company made this. So someone look it up. So someone look up the Chinese ripoff of Overwatch because you don't understand how much it's like Overwatch until you see it. It's unbelievable. It's like hilarious
All right,
that anyone even like.
what's it called?
It's Heroes of the Something, which is also hilarious because
Heroes
there's a
of-
Blizzard game
yeah,
called Heroes of the Storm. So not only did they rip off one Blizzard game, they ripped off the title of another, which I think is amazing.
Yeah, this said it came out a year ago.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it?
right?
Is it?
Like,
like that's supposed to be Tracer.
Is this made with like half like a Source engine or
it's
something?
a mobile game.
Her name is Ranger Ginny. I'm already liking the Chinese version more. The women are way hotter. Medical Angel Sophia, Soldier 9527, so Panda Warrior Panta, the last night Don Quixote. This is
So I mean, it's all right. So give us a summary here, Rory?
apparently
So
Sephiroth is in
the
it.
summary is they released this game and actually that is the summary. I just think it's hilarious because it's so much like Overwatch. Like it's not even like you can look at it and you can have some sort of debate about like
Is there a game here at any point?
the there's it is a game of some variety.
Okay, because okay, I was watching a thing and there was just art. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I mean, yeah, so how do you, in an age where first-person shooters are fucking everywhere,
How do you determine what's
how do you
infringement, what
determine?
isn't?
Yeah,
Man, that's a good question. I mean, like, the thing is, there's a bit of an eye test, right?
yeah,
Like,
nice tits.
like we don't know what infringement.
Why are you watching Gurren Lagann?
I don't know. It was some reference, I guess, in this video I'm watching.
Anyways, so Like, although we probably couldn't sit down and define what infringement actually is, we know it when we see it. We know that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, that Aaron, it's not a great answer to your question, because like it's.
Well, I meant less from like a consumer standpoint, as in this is clearly influenced by this thing, and more of a
like a legal thing.
Legally,
yeah.
This thing is our thing.
Man, I don't know. Like, it's a good question. If they can't show that this is it, though, then there's like no hope.
But I mean, this has happened before, not necessarily with games. But Chinese cultures don't acknowledge other copyrights.
No. It's not that they don't acknowledge. They don't give a fuck because they know that if they won't, they cannot be sued because the Chinese government will always side with the Chinese corporation.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you go to China and there's iPads that are clearly knockoff iPads. There's Starbucks that's knockoff Starbucks.
Yeah.
There's handbags that are knockoff handbags, shoes. I mean, we get a lot of that stuff here that's like imitation the thing.
I have never seen, and I think this is the only example in history where like, well, I don't know about that, but it's a really good example of how they like pretty much stole an entire culture.
Yeah.
Like everything, not everything, but there's
even,
so much stuff that is stolen in China.
Even cars. There's cars that look identical to...
Top Gear did a good...
Yeah, I mean, they covered it as well. They found a bunch of cars that looked like BMWs and Minis.
They showed one that was just like homegrown made. It was awful.
Yeah, and so in the instance where the Chinese built a BMW, I think it was an X5, and called it something else. It looked exactly the same design, same headlights.
You got a Hobbit?
Same sort of aesthetic. The lawsuit was thrown out. BMW's lawsuit was thrown out with them stealing the design. I don't see how, with the Chinese government, I don't see how this lawsuit can go anywhere.
It can't, but they have to try.
They have to try. But
they have to try because if it sets a precedent. If they don't, they'll be like, oh, other people will be like, oh, we can do it. And the reason, like, no, the only reason we just didn't work is because it's China. But if like some like asshole tries to do it in America, like, oh, you're getting sued out the ass.
Forget about it.
It is pathetically like they didn't even try. You know how like when you're like a kid and you're like, hey, can I borrow your notes, man? It's like, yeah, sure, just change them a little bit so it doesn't look like you copied. Yeah. They didn't do that.
But then you also run into the instance where two separate parties come to the same design choice at separate parts of the world around the same time, completely independent of one another.
This is for sure not that, though.
No,
right?
yeah, I know, but this could totally be a defense. I mean, it's happened before even in my industry.
100% true.
Where there's a company here, X-Wave. If you want to look it up, I don't even know if they still exist.
They do not still exist.
There used to be a company called X-Wave.
Yes.
Who came up with the logo. It was an X, and it was in a box that had 4 colors around it, kind of similar, I guess, to the Windows logo, maybe kind of rotated on the side. And then it said -Wave after it. There was a company, I think it was in Philadelphia, somewhere in the U.S., that was also called X-Wave, and they had a very, very similar logo. And they kind of started around the same time. They were in similar industries. And so the lawsuit came about. These companies found out about one another, and they were like, you stole our logo. It's like, no, you stole our logo. It's like, well, actually what happened was two different designers, independent of one another, ended up drawing the same thing around the same time for the same type of company. So it's totally, coincidence in that case. And because they're in separate countries, you can both have the rights to that name because, one isn't necessarily relevant to the other.
Yeah.
And so that was just kind of thrown out as, we just ended up somehow doing the same thing.
Yeah, but there's a difference between, like, two companies have very similar names, and then one company making a video game in which there is a cowboy, a mammal in power armor,
But it could totally happen.
It could, but probably not. That's probably too many coincidences.
Yeah. But my point is to definitively prove that it wasn't coincidence is fucking a nightmare for the court.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, guaranteed.
So,
no, it's not, because they just don't care. But if they did, it would be.
Yeah. Anyway.
So, what else do we have?
What else? Let's do your lightning round, Rory.
Right. So the Humble store is having a female protagonist sale.
What does that mean? What games we got?
So you got Tomb Raider.
Good game? Which
Alien
one?
Isolation.
Which one?
The
new one?
The new Tomb Raider, yes.
Which was also free as part of this month's Humble Bundle.
And yes, that's true.
Alien Isolation, fucking awesome game.
and now my mind's going blank. Well, lots of great games on there.
I mean, those two games.
Bayonetta, which is also terrific.
Oh, you're losing me now.
And some other game begins with a T. You know, it's like space. There's space
Titties.
shit. What?
Titties.
No.
There's females.
Good guess, though.
The Mass Effect.
I'm real progressive, like that.
The Halo.
But anyways, so yeah, check it out. It should be pretty cool. So the Shadow of War is out, right?
Shadow of
which
War's
is a game.
I have never heard such divisiveness because I can't tell whether. Because so many people are saying that the microtransactions in this game are fucking unbelievable and it's really geared towards the microtransactions. I've heard other people like, no, you don't really need it at all. And it's not like, oh, it's like people from IGN. Like I've seen people all over, like are like all over the map with like these microtransaction things. So I think this is just one of those cases where you just got to play it and kind of determine for yourself if the microtransactions
I've
are
read
good or bad.
a lot of the Steam reviews that I've read. Opened with, this game is really fun, it's really good, it's a great game. It goes on to support its negative review with the microtransactions are fucking obtrusive and really annoying. Like in the previous game, you
should point out that none of us have played it yet.
No, I haven't played it. I haven't played it yet.
I will be picking it up. I will be picking up a used copy because I refuse to give Warner Brothers a dime.
Yeah.
Probably the used definitive edition whenever that comes out. That's what I'm waiting for.
So in the first game, you could recruit orcs to your army, and you could rank them up, and they would get higher and higher level. They would become better and better fighters, all the way up to epic. Apparently, in this game, from all the stuff that I've read, obviously I haven't played it, so this maybe isn't true. But a lot of people have been saying it's impossible to rank them up to epic level without microtransactions. You cannot get them to the highest level without spending money.
And I've heard that you can get it them up to epic level, but you got to do a lot of grinding. And I've also heard that you don't need to grind at all in order to get them up to epic level. So somebody's lying.
So, well, yeah, obviously somebody doesn't really understand. I mean, grinding is objective, I think. Like, grinding to me is just...
I'm getting dizzy. I can't look at this anymore.
Why?
I'm just getting crazy dizzy. I can't look at this.
All right, well, whatever. I'll play back footage from earlier in the podcast.
Do it. All right, keep going.
The grinding to me is...
You ever seen Rory tap out of a Let's Play before? Jesus.
Is repeating a mechanic that you're not really involved in, that you need to do in order to progress to something you want. That's grinding. Now, you may end up having to repeat a mechanic hundreds and thousands of times to do the thing you want, but you may also find that kind of enjoyable. Maybe it's
depends
a bit
on the circumstance.
So that's not grinding to me. I mean, it may be grinding to some people's definitions of it, but it's not grinding to me.
Sure, yeah.
So, I mean, maybe that's the case here where this person is saying you need to grind. You don't need to grind. Maybe they enjoy the mechanics in which they need to do to get to the thing they want.
That could be accurate. But the thing I want to highlight about Shadow of War is that Shelob is...
What is that?
Shelob, the spider, is human in this game.
Oh, is it? I don't know what Shelob is.
They made Shelob human.
Shelob.
Shelob.
Okay.
Well, you're always correcting me.
Shelob.
So do you remember in I was gonna say episode 3? Do you remember in Return of the King?
Is it Shelob? I always thought it was Shelob.
I thought it was Shelob.
I think they say Shelob in the...
Whatever. Who gives a fuck?
Anyways, regardless, Shelob is a spider.
Never...
She's a giant spider.
An old-ass giant spider.
Last of the daughters of Ungulant, I believe.
That's right, yes. And so...
yeah, that's right.
They were like, we wanted to explore the character more. What the fuck are you talking about?
You probably got to buy some sort of card pack to unlock Spider Shelob.
What? Like,
Shelob.
You want to explore the character? Make a new goddamn character.
That's what she looks like in the movie and in the book. Now look at what she looks like in Shadow of War.
That's what she looks like right now.
Yeah. We wanted to explore the character more. That's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my entire
Jim
fucking
Sterling
life.
actually does a half-decent Jimquisition about it, about Shelob.
When?
Back in August.
Oh, damn.
What?
That was what it was about?
It just looks like
was
Steve
the
Tyler's
context?
daughter, Liv Tyler.
He didn't like the fact that they took this cool spider character and made her into a generic, attractive female.
I didn't know this was even known. I only just found this out. Okay, cool. So I'll have to watch his his bit on it.
It just looks like
he's
Liv
quite
Tyler,
good.
if I'm honest. Young Liv Tyler.
Who's already a character in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I know.
I think it's disgusting that they did this. But anyways,
I don't know if disgusting is the right term for me personally.
Maybe Kate Blanchett.
I'm not getting.
Who's also in Lord of the Rings.
I don't want to get into the whole feminization, feminism debate about this, about whether about the lack of gruesome female characters in
Spiders can have titties too
in popular media. Because I'm just not qualified enough to say that.
Sure,
what I am qualified enough to say is they had an intelligent spider character. They had a spider that could talk to you, and they got rid of it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Also,
people should be working spiders in giant talking spiders in this. Like, how cool would how green is my valley if there would have been a giant spider in one of the scenes that could talk to you?
Don't the spiders talk in The Hobbit?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but we don't talk about that.
The thing is. And look, there's something else too, which is like, I understand that these games don't give a shit about canon, but they should, because Lord of the Rings canon is tight. Like, no matter what you think about Tolkien's like writing style, the thing he was amazing at was universe building and lore building, and I would say arguably the best at. You can make a strong case for the best at that in terms of actually building a cohesive universe. Why would you fuck with that? I don't get it. Ugh. Gross.
Yeah, I'm not massive on Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but it's some of the best world building for sure. That has been done.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Don't stop fucking with it.
The fact that Adam can give us that, the fact that we can talk about Shelob has a history, and the lore and stuff like that, and places she's lived. That's one of the special things about Lord of the Rings.
Because that's like Shelob's mother is this individual called Ungulant, which was when the main bad guy of the Lord of the Rings universe, whose name was Morgoth, when he fucked off out of heaven, I'm generalizing here, he was the first and worst of the evils ever. And he found this spider thing, and he was like, holy shit, that's way more terrifying than anything I can make. So they teamed up. She literally ate the sun, kind of. Like, that's what she did. Like, she ate the light that the gods had created. And then they fucked off, and then she became so powerful, she bet the ever-living shit out of Morgoth, and the only reason he lived is because he summoned him an army of Balrogs that fought her off. So that's awesome.
If you haven't figured it out already, most of the shit in Lord of the Rings happens before the films.
Yeah.
Like,
that's kind of why I wanted Peter Jackson to go back and do prequels about Sauron, maybe.
I want someone else to do it. Does that count?
Or somebody else. I would agree.
Yeah.
He spends too much time meandering around the story to fucking actually do it.
I'd almost like to do an in-universe documentary.
I want Guillermo del Toro's Hobbit films that never got made. I want those. Well,
I wouldn't do Hobbit now. Maybe in like 20 years. But
that's
too soon. But
I'm saying I wanted them instead of the ones we got.
I will say, Peter Jackson got the casting right for Hobbit.
He did get the casting right. He also probably didn't do the cast.
He also probably didn't do the casting.
Someone got the casting right.
He agreed with the casting.
But yeah, so we all agreed this Shelob thing is bullshit. Okay.
Yes.
What's this popular?
So popular Korean pop group SNSD. It might be losing 3 members. I just put this on here because it was entertainment news.
All right,
I know you guys don't give a shit about SNSD.
I might have heard them.
Are they going might be losing 3 members.
Are they going to war or something?
No, they're not going to war.
No, I didn't mean.
Wait,
a lot of K-pop members end up joining the Korean army. That's happened a lot. So
Aaron is actually making a point here, but no, that's not what's happening.
I wasn't saying they're going to fight North Korea or anything.
One of the few actual face palms we ever got in this channel.
It's true.
So okay,
it happens a lot.
True. So I'm just gonna.
It happens a lot.
Aaron has a point about Korean military service, but anyways, no. What's happening is the sort of entertainment production company, if you will, that runs this group. These 3 members didn't re-up their contract. So they might not be. It's unclear. They've yet to comment on whether.
So why would the fate of the band say like "fuck you" to the actual fate of the band?
I don't understand what you just said.
Like,
I'm glad.
Well, how many members are in the band?
There's 9.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck?
So maybe 3 members isn't a huge blow.
It's not like a band, yeah. They're like a pop group, like
They
a
just
group
have
of singers.
They have bold.
Okay,
cut
because
hair.
with 9, you're getting to orchestra levels.
Yeah, no, there's no.
They
They,
just
they don't
dance.
play instruments.
They just dance.
and
It's K-pop.
they sing.
Yeah, well, okay, they sing
okay,
also.
Okay, so like 3 backup dancers is what I'm hearing.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing. Like, so if you don't know about K-pop, which you probably don't, Thomas.
I gotta be. Actually, Thomas might. He's got a pretty wide taste in music.
You never know. So, but
You got a pretty wide taste in music.
I also do because of college.
So
Nobody cares about you.
was
Yeah, I know.
did you what?
Friends in college.
Oh, okay, yeah. I just needed a bit of context on that. So
There it is. Context.exe.
when you're a fan of a K-pop group, you often have what we call bias, which is like
This is a new term to me. Please explain.
which is
bias.
like not in the way that we use the term bias, but in the way of like your like preferred member.
I don't know
of
what
that.
bias is. Please explain it to me.
So your preferred member of that group, right?
Yeah.
So if
So what are all the 12-year-olds in Korea doing about this situation, Rory?
So
well,
basically, what you're saying to me,
I can explain that.
You're saying to me that the
They won't be
Backstreet
able to buy
that
candies with their favorite.
Justin
bulldog
Timberlake
bears.
has left the Backstreet Boys. Is what you're saying?
I'm sorry, what?
Justin Timberlake has left the Backstreet Boys, or was he in sync?
He was never in the Backstreet
Yeah,
Boys.
Justin Timberlake was a member of NSYNC.
Was he? I always
Yes.
thought he was Backstreet
No,
Boys.
he
I thought you were being purposely
Man.
sarcastic.
I so did. I thought it was.
I gotta be honest. I really don't care. But
It
what
was a
you're
good
telling me,
joke, but yeah. So it's like and the Backstreet Boys are kind of a good example, I guess, because a lot of people had a favorite member of the Backstreet Boys.
It's totally the same thing. It's totally
So
the same thing.
like, if your favorite member of SNSD was one of the 3 leaving members, Tiffany and 2 others. I forget who the other.
Why do they have contracts?
Uh,
It's a band.
yes, but it's a little more complicated than that.
I feel like this is a bad thing to end the show out of.
No, don't worry.
It's nice to have a lot of
We'll knock off
qualifiers.
some other stuff in the speed round, I'm sure. Actually, we probably won't.
The speed round we mentioned 40 minutes ago.
But yeah, so if your favorite member was this member, you're probably heartbroken. And it's your question, Aaron, of what are the fans doing? A lot of them are posting pictures of like damaged merchandise, and they're like flipping out, and they're getting rather up in arms about the situation.
It's Korea. They're totally pissed by this.
Oh, a lot of them are very upset.
I'm getting a general sense that the theme of this podcast is upset fans.
Yeah, it kind of like that wasn't the
There's your
intention. But yeah,
title.
that's true.
How to piss off
But
Korea,
the good news,
the good one.
if there's a silver lining to this story, it's that Yuri isn't leaving SNSD, so we're good.
Oh, man.
Anyways,
That's a name.
and
Household name.
And with that, we can end.
No, let's end on something positive. Horizon Zero Dawn got a DLC trailer.
yes, it did.
Looks good. I already bought it, so we'll be playing it.
Maybe we'll play it next week's podcast.
Well, it's not out next week.
Oh,
It comes out in November,
shit.
Rory.
Okay, yeah, we'll
Well,
play
totally.
it in a few months.
When it's out, we'll play it.
I'll be real with you guys. I didn't watch the trailer because I don't play the game.
Okay.
But I
It was
just
just
put it
an
there 'cause I knew
environment
Aaron
trailer.
would have something to say about it.
I didn't even know it existed. I was like, Horizon Zero Dawn. I went on to add topics, and I was like, oh, Rory's already got everything written. So I was like,
Yeah, I did it like this morning. I had I had a meeting at 2 that
Job
was
done.
canceled. So
and then I read down through it. Horizon Zero Dawn trailer. I was like, what
Wait, hang
is
on.
this?
You did it this morning. You had a meeting at 2? That's the afternoon.
no. So I went
He spent
in
6
for-
hours writing the list,
I
and then
went
he went
in
to a meeting.
for a meeting at 2.
Oh.
And was going to like do things, but then I found out my meeting was canceled, and I was like, "Yo, fuck doing things." And
I like when Rory writes the podcast list.
what I did instead was jumped on here, put these topics on. I was surprised the K-pop thing was still on there when I got on the podcast because
I didn't
Aaron would've
change
axed
shit.
that. But yeah, so your topic list today, courtesy of me.
Yeah, I'm totally excited about that DLC. That game was so good. That writing is so.
I did hear really
top
good
shelf.
things about the
Great game.
from pretty much everybody.
And with that, we have to end.
We'll be cluing up. We'll see you guys
So,
next week with the fate of
go watch
Korean
Blade
group
Runner or
SNSD.
Part 2 next week.